So we've talked about the legal side, Counselor. Now we're going to touch on, there's been some very big news. I even came with sound effects. So Henrico, what am I saying, Henrico? I live in Henrico, but I'm sorry, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We already turn it off.
We're on thin ice right here. That's some real thin ice there. All right, so Chesterfield dropped some big news, and it had to do with.
I heard it.
Okay, Counselor. What's the news? So Chesterfield says they did a $1 billion deal.
Yes.
$1 billion with the B.
Billion with a B.
With the
That's
company,
how we spell it.
With it, yes, that's the Virginia way. But it's not what people would think typically would be $1 billion. A company it's Lego.
Right.
Okay, Counselor. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Let's talk about that deal, how it came about, and what it means, and why yesterday was the day when the news dropped.
Well, we have been working on this as a county team, and I say the team because really we have a lot of pieces to a deal. But our county has done a good job historically of putting aside real estate for industrial development. Okay. And that's what this is. People don't like, they think of smokestacks, and you start talking about industrial manufacturing.
So Danielle Fitzhugh was here.
People
get
squirrely.
Yeah. So Danielle Fitzhugh was here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about that. And she says there has to be, for all the nice things that people want. You want nice schools. You want new schools. It has to come from somewhere.
She's 1,000,000% right. And you don't have the tax base to support resident. So anytime you put up a new home, a new single family home, that is the most resource intensive thing for any local government to provide services to. Okay. And there's efficiencies with condos and apartments and even some townhouses that aren't with a single family home. That's the most expensive. So you have to have the tax base, and that means business. And what does business mean? Business can mean, accountants and lawyers and things like that. But a lot of business is people working, either in a factory, driving a truck, supporting a business in those very ways. And so 30 some odd years ago, the county zoned Meadowville Technology Park. They had the foresight to say, hey, we need to set aside some land to make sure that we have business operations in the county. And people don't know this about Chesterfield. Not only are we the biggest jurisdiction in the region at 365.
Well, Dr. Casey is always dropping that number.
Is he dropping it? Okay.
He is dropping that number. So for people who are not from Chesterfield, when I asked Danielle where the bills are paid, she said on the east end. On the east end of the county.
I'd say that's
so. Where is the tract that you're talking about? Where is that located?
So that's on the east end, and this is the last major acreage in Meadowville Technology Park. It's 342 acres is what Lego's purchased from the county, and so I would say that's been a critical component, is having that land zoned. And then, some kind of infrastructure, water, sewer, and then road, at least coming up to it at some point. We'll figure out the rest of it once you sign the paperwork, But so we didn't know who this group was. About 6 months ago, they approached the county and our economic development team, and they wouldn't tell us who they were. There was just sort of some cryptic messages. We might be interested in coming out and looking at the land. And so I think one or two came over and looked at the plot down there with our economic folks. And they expressed a little more interest. And then about 2 months into it, they finally let everybody know who they were and had a meeting with Virginia Economic Development Partnership, our folks, about whatever the incentive packages might be to get them to come here, because it's a big deal. And somebody says $1 billion, like I said, $1 billion, and it's actually $1.5 billion and 1,761, and I found a very precise number, jobs created by this Lego manufacturing facility. And again, when people think about manufacturing, this is clean manufacturing. Okay, this is modern manufacturing. It's not the smokestacks and all that stuff. It is, you think about it, they have these machines that inject plastic into molds, and then it cools, I guess, and then out pops a Lego. And they have a gazillion of these pieces. Obviously, we've seen them and probably stepped on them everywhere, at one point.
everywhere we have. And when you look at that, so that's 1,761 jobs that are created just there.
Just there.
What impact does that have on Chesterfield community as a whole?
Well, so I look at the brand of Lego. Okay, you got to consider this is a brand that just celebrated its 90th birthday, 90 years. And talk to me about a company, a toy company, I want to call it a toy company, that is more ubiquitous, that is more well-known than Lego. I mean, I grew up pretty poor in Gloucester County,
but
we had Lego.
But you know what Legos were, and everybody's had them.
Everybody's
had them.
And they play with them with their kids, and it's like an experiential thing that's just, it's a very, it's a European brand, but it's a very American thing, right? Legos and the movies and all the things that they've done to promote their brand. I can't think of a better brand to bring to Chesterfield. And every locality in North America yesterday was jealous of Chesterfield.
You better believe it.